Okay, good morning. It's been a very interesting morning. We've talked a lot about tourism, even about cars, and a lot about culture and cultural tourism. Yet I don't think we have talked enough about cultural roots. Because your roots are very specific product, both cultural, in our way, political and technical. And that's what I'm going to try to talk about, the cultural roots of the Council of Europe. The Council of Europe is 47 countries, 47 countries. I was talking about the Union. The Union is now 28, perhaps 27 soon. It's bad. We are on the business of human rights, democracy, and rule of law. The Council of Europe was built to become the European Union, and then the British blocked it, and then the European Union had to wait till the Rome Treaty in 1957. You know the British, I think they're not here. They are not easy. They are not easy. But, you know, what is the cultural root of the Council of Europe? It's not just tourism and culture put together. There has to be a concept. There are networks, you know, of shared histories. I will put examples. You will understand better, or I will try to explain myself better with examples. They are here to promote, they are there to promote the values of the Council of Europe. They are there to promote culture. They are there to promote sustainable development. They are there to promote, you know, environment and you know, the care of environment. And also, citizens. The Council of Europe did not invent the logo connecting people. Nokia did. But cultural roots are about connecting people and telling us that we are the same, that we are Europeans. We have some differences between ourselves, but in the end, you know, we have a shared history, a shared culture, shared values, and that's what cultural roots are about. It's not just about selling Corfu. By the way, thank you for bringing me to Corfu. You know what I brought to why I came to Corfu? Because this was the place where the Darrell brothers came. Because I had read My Family and Other Animals. I had actually read Gerald Darrell first in My Ticket to Adventure, when he spoke about his adventures in Latin America, looking for animals. I'm a biologist. So, you know, it's about heritage. It's about how we use tourism to enhance heritage. But they have to have a theme. This one has a theme, Camino de Santiago, St. James Way. That has a history of 10 centuries of people walking along this with one idea. It was a pilgrimage. But that's where you make Europe, where you make Europeans meet, where they exchange ideas, when they exchange techniques, when they understand that through Christianity, or through that, they become one people. Why is Brexit happening? Why is now nationalism is coming to Europe in places like Poland or Austria, or, you know, this is the main problem of Europe is this stupid nationalism that has brought Brexit. Let's not talk about Trump. That's not in Europe. So, you know, the objective of these roots is to demonstrate. You have to make people dream if you want them on your side. So, through history and space and time, how the heritage that we have, we share. You want to make a cultural route, European cultural route here, make it on the Darrell brothers. Because you will have Corfu, but you will have Cyprus, where Lawrence Darrell wrote this beautiful book, Bitter Lemons. You will have Alexandria, where he lived, this quarter of Alexandria. You will have the Isle of Man, where there is a foundation for Gerald Darrell. Make it, but make it European. Don't think small, think big. So, they enable us to enhance cultural heritage, but it's a good excuse to put all our heritage, to rebuild it, to make it used for people. But it's not just built heritage, it's also immaterial heritage. You know, it's also how people think, the festivities they have, the type of things they know. You know, we have one cultural root about the olive tree it's not just about the olive, it's about the Kalamata, the Kalamata olives. It's about all the knowledge around it. It's about the people working. It's about the landscapes. So, all started 32 years ago with Santiago Declaration. And we certified the first route of the Council of Europe. And there was a declaration saying what a cultural route is. But what is a cultural route? What types of routes we have? We have things that you walk. And this is what has been very successful. When we certified the routes, 3,000 pilgrims, registered pilgrims. They have to walk 100 kilometers, so not everyone does. But there were many thousands more on the way. This year, this number of 3,000 has been multiplied by more than 100. They had 340,000 registered pilgrims. It's a whole phenomenon. It's filling Galicia, a very poor region in Spain, or very isolated, with a lot of people. But you have Via Francesena, it's from Canterbury to Rome. One of my friends did it, actually, the whole. Or you have St. Olaf's Way. St. Olaf was a Viking that decided to become Christian, and after raiding a number of cities, became a saint. Things that happen. You have Via Regia, from Kiev to Paris, and then to St. James. You have things that are around religious buildings. You have, of course, Sister and Roman art, and that is St. Martin, and then, of course, megalithic buildings are religious buildings in a sense. So that's also, we have the megalithic culture. You have some of minority religions, the Andalusians, the Arabs that we had in South Spain for so long, Jewish heritage, the Huguenots. Some about historical figures, mainly these emperors, the Habsburgs, but also the Roman emperors, Charlemagne, Charles V, Napoleon. But some about art, the places where Mozart was giving concerts, or the places where Robert Stevenson. Also about architecture, with all this Le Corbusier, Art Nouveau, Atrium, Viking roots, Phoenician roots. You could invent also the route of the Greek temples. You would have Sicily, Naples, parts of Spain. You would have, of course, Crete. You would have, many places in Turkey. This would be something in which you understand through this how this civilization you started here. Everything started here. English, everything. Well, sorry, the Cretan said everything started in Creta, but but they are particular. The Hansa, an economic market that collapsed. Perhaps we have to know something when we have an economic market, a big union idea that might collapse. So perhaps, but looking at what happened with the Hansa, in any case, they were a trade people, our origins, prehistoric art routes, impressionism, thermal towns, cemeteries, ceramics, in all. These are the wine ones, the olive tree ones, with all their knowledge. I'm trying to do a 40-minute speech in 10, and I have like 3 left. So, and I'm sorry to be between you and your lunch. I didn't choose this place to talk. It was the organizers, so don't blame me. Or another one, very, very political. The Iron Curtain Trail tells us about when Europe was divided in two, so that we will never repeat this. These are lessons in which we, through these routes, through walking them, through visiting them, we understand what we are and what the others are, and we try to fight this xenophobia, this ridiculous nationalism that can kill the European project. Pyrenean Iron Route, European Industrial Heritage, you name them. We have in all 38 certified cultural routes. So the Council of Europe, we don't create the routes. We simply, they are created by the civil society. They bring them to us, and we see if they have what they have to have, which is, there are, of course, a number of states participating. Our mission is mainly the activities to certify the candidate routes, and of course support the development with information. We have also a university network so that the routes are not pure fantasies, but that, you know, these routes are built on things that are real. I mean, the St. James Way, it has to go where it used to go. No, it cannot go in another way, you know. So, but the idea is, in the end, we are trying to create a network of civil society, and the main idea is Europe. We are the same. We have to. So, we have got this is our old Secretary General. This was in May. Receiving the Charles V Award, we are very proud. But in the end, those that are making the routes, the important thing here is not the Council of Europe. It's those on the ground that are making the routes. They're linking the municipalities, linking the people, you know, working around one idea. By the way, I remember they presented, but I think it's still on its start, Capodistria route, you know, for your first president of the Seven Islands. Only is a person that's not very well known outside Greece, unlike the Darrells. Anyway, in Corfu and in Greece, you have all the possibilities, but please always think big. Always think that tourism is an economic activity, we know. If we control it so that it doesn't eat up our landscapes, it doesn't eat up our culture, it doesn't eat up, like in Venice, our, you know, if it's controlled. And it's important because in many rural areas, they have only this. Rural areas are now, a lot of, my own country, Spain, is empty. You know, so it's a way to bring people also to do this more rural tourism, you know. So, these are cultural routes, so I hope that in the rest of the day, and now I'm really closing because your stomachs are shouting against me, we shall see that we are not talking just about culture and tourism, but also having this linked to ideas that make us better, that make us together. You know, and it's about, this was the minute I was, and the creativity. You have a lot of things around these routes. These are, you know, performances, arts, ceramics, handcraft, technology. We need really that cultural routes become smart cultural routes. So we use all this technology to make the experience of the tourists better. In Santiago, you know, we get a lot of people from the United States and from Korea. But why on earth? Because there was a film. So they are getting here. So, and the most important cultural link of all, food. People love food. When they go to a place, the first thing they introduce is not the churches, it's the food. And there's a lot of creativity there. So, thank you very much for your kind attention.